Welcome. Dr. Stephen Hobbs here from the Wellth movement, sharing a Thursday perspective message via video. And the topic today is legacy. I'm going to define it, and then I'm going to look at the 5 branches of legacy and unpack some ideas for you as you think about moving forward, evolving your legacy, living from your legacy. Before we do that, please subscribe and ring the bell because you can get notifications of when the next video is coming along. And then please comment, like, share. I always appreciate hearing from you. I get to learn from you through what you comment, like, and share. So with that, let's jump into the video. And one of the things I want to acknowledge is that legacy is an important story in all of our lives, no matter what our age. But for some reason, it seems to pop out more when we get older and we start to realize, hang on a minute, what is it that I want to leave behind? What story do I want to leave behind? What resources do I want to leave behind? And that's sometimes an unfortunate way of looking at it. I would suggest is that we evolve from our legacy. When we know what it is and we have an understanding of it, we actually evolve. We continue to move forward. In other words, we live from our legacy. I often hear people say, well, you know, my legacy story will be shared as part of my eulogy at my funeral. And I go, that's great. But wouldn't you want to purposely impact what that story is because of what it is that you do, what it is that you be, what it is that you have? And people sit back and they go, okay, I see where you're going, but I'd like to know a little bit more about legacy. And then that prompted me to create this definition of legacy that you see on the whiteboard. And I'm going to take a look at it and unpack elements of it so that you might understand, and then go into the 5 branches of legacy. So to start with, let me just share with you what I believe is a definition of legacy. It's a definition, it's not the definition. Legacy is about the useful whats that you gift others so that they might learn something from your lived experience. So, the useful whats. One of the things that I've come to understand from the 5 W's and H questions that we hear often is this what question. And I dug around into it a little bit more, and I started to realize is that when we're asking the what question is about time, effort, and money. So it's about time, effort, and money. And what I'm talking about here is what's the useful whats that you can gift others. So time is something you can gift through mentoring, through conversations, through guiding others in the workplace, through even coaching and training and instructing. It's a way in which to give of your time. And often that is just about being present with your ears first, then your mouth. You probably heard that story many times. The next thing is the effort that you put into it. You can put in sort of a half-hearted effort. Okay, I'll help you out. Or you can come with the enthusiasm, the ways to share what you know, and to come from a place of heart. And I know in the effort, and it may be a sort of a sideways look at it, what I understand the effort to be is the words that I might use, the words that I can use. If I use the words of the person I interact, I touch their heart. If I use my words, I touch their head. This is an adaptation of a phrase, a quote that Nelson Mandela shared many years ago. And it stuck with me as something that's really important because when I give of my time and I give of my effort in ways that I connect with the person in their words, then there seems to be more of a groundswell, a foundation, a seed bed that allows for the building and the growth to take place. And that in and of itself is a beautiful legacy story. Often we hear about, from a money point of view, is someone may have bequeathed a certain amount of money to build a hospital wing, or they've given so much money over to a cause that they see as a value. And when they leave, it's sort of they're leaving a sense of a footprint. I have my own causes that I work with. Some of them I'm actually creating versus me funding them or volunteering with them. I'm creating my own. One is called Trees Every Day, and there's certain programs that are inside of that, like Right for Shade. And you can certainly learn more on my website about those. But today is about the legacy story. So I think I've covered off the useful whats. The other thing is that you gift others these useful whats. And I'm being purposeful here in that you can give them or you can gift them. I sort of think of give coming from more from the head, gift more from the heart. I know that when I share gifts with others, and it sort of comes from a place of, I would like that as well. Whereas to give something, I might just say, okay, I'm giving you the present versus I'm gifting you something that I think might be of value to you. So again, I use the phrase gift. You can't use give, I understand that, but I like to gift others. So if it's the useful whats that you gift others so they can learn something, this time, effort, and money you're giving, the gift that you're giving, is an opportunity for them to learn something about you. And they're learning it because you are educating them. See, here's a really important element of, we always tend to talk about learning. There's a complementary piece called educating. And it comes back to a phrase, when you listen, you learn, where you share, you educate. And in your legacy, I've mentioned already about the listen and learn aspect. But when you gift, you share, you're educating the person that is receiving it about who you are and what you believe in and what you have to offer and what you can do with them. That is such an important gift, and that way they can learn from you, and it's through your educating. And when you really get to the point of the sharing, it becomes mutual. That legacy story, that component of the legacy story is oh so beautiful. And I'll share a little bit more about that in the 5 branches. The next element of this is that from the perspective of they can learn something from you, all right? Something is you in your life have brought some things into the world. In other words, you brought them into thingness. Now, I appreciate I might be playing a little bit of a philosophical game here with you. Now, what I'm sharing is that through your activities, through your useful whats, through the gifts that you're giving, you brought things into the world. You materialize them. So even your own dreams that you've manifested, you've materialized those into the world. And when they can learn something, that's something from you, then they're learning it from your lived experience. Because yes, you've had the opportunity to go, oh, that worked. Oh, that didn't work so well. And so it's a sense of what concepts and practices that you have brought into your being for the world that you can share with others. And the richness of your lived experience, I mentioned earlier, to be able to mentor, to serve as a celebrant, to be a weaver. These are ways in which you can be for the world and bring your legacy to your life now, to live from that legacy. And that's where I'm wanting to go with you. That's where I'm dreaming I can assist you as you listen to this video, is to bring your legacy to life. There's a phrase I just want to share with you. Legacy is in you to gift. Legacy is in you to gift. Food for thought. Now, what I want to do is just share with you what are the 5 branches of legacy. Now, you'll notice is that I'm using branches, not elements or aspects. And I'm doing that because legacy for me is linked very much to the metaphors of trees, both literally and figuratively. And when I see trees, I see a legacy story there. And it's one of the ways to remind myself, even as I'm shooting this video in my periphery, I can see all the trees on the hill across from me. And it reminds me, strengthens me, improves me, focuses me on my legacy, and encourages me to keep going even with this video. And so thank you. And thanks to the trees that are out there to keep reminding me. So let's get into the 5 branches. The first one is the notion of life and how you're living your life and being for the world. And we could use phrases like the role model, what it is that you're sharing from your life experiences. I've had the pleasure of interacting with a few mentors over the years. My very first mentor, aside from my parents, was a person who got me to truly understand the idea of creation, of creative actions that came from the place of recreation. I entered into the work world through a filter of recreation, leisure, and children's play. And I thank that person over and over again for exposing me to this notion of creation and being creative and the creative process. And it's served me for years and years, and that's part of his legacy in my life. So thank you. The next piece is around leadership. And it's how you are leading. How is it that you are helping others, inspiring others to live their great life, to help them create a life system that is of benefit to them? And we sometimes take it for granted, or we use the word leadership when we put it into the business world or into organizations or work. But how you live your life, you are demonstrating leadership. You're demonstrating how to lead. And people are watching you. And I remember this phrase: when people look at your feet, that's usually pointed at the direction in which you are going. And if you're pointing at them, then you're in conversation. If you're pointing as though you're going to walk out the door, you're walking out the door. Your feet, your words are ways in which you lead. And take that into consideration as you interact with all those that you come in contact in the days that are coming forward. It'll help you understand your legacy story. The next component that we want to take a look at is this area of legal. And this is about wills and what you want to bequeath and your living will, how you want to be treated as you move along in your age. There is a legal aspect that you need to be thinking about to be able to really share your legacy story with others. Don't leave any confusion about what you want to gift others upon your passing. Also, you may want to think through, and especially in today's world, you are leaving a digital footprint wherever you're going in terms of what you post or articles you've written, books that you put up, just even your commentary on places, the social media platforms. These are digital footprints, and I would encourage you to think through, what do you want left up there, or do you want to have things deleted from your digital footprint? Think about it from that perspective. I know that when I'm gone, there will be elements of my digital footprint still available through ebooks that I have written. But that's a conscious decision that I'm making now to create that. I ask you to think about your digital footprint as well, in terms of what you're putting out now and what you want to leave when you are walking elsewhere. The next L that I'd like to take a look at is literacy. Now, from a literacy point of view, what I'm talking about is there's like 10 areas of literacy, what I call the wealth springs of literacy, the wealth springs of wisdom. And they are about things like your financial aspects of your life, the physical sense of who you are, the ecological interactions that you've taken, the spiritual connections you've made. That there's 4 of the 10. And it's how literate you are in those 10 areas gives a sense of who you are in being fully human, being natural, being planetary, being solaris, or connected to that which is around us outside of our earthly realm. And I share that with you is because we sometimes get a little confused in this area. What is it that we are literate about? We understand about the essential skills at work. That's one way of looking at literacy. There's ecological literacy, the ways in which we're informed by nature. Just as there are these 10 elements of literacy that form your legacy and the expression of those literate elements of your life. And I encourage you to dig around, and if you're not knowing what it is that I'm talking about, you can certainly reach out and I can help you to take a look at that. And or I can suggest some places where you can dig around a little bit more and learn about this element of your legacy. I want to take a look at the word leverage because it's the 5th one, and it's a really important one that we sometimes might slide by because it's not a normal word in our vocabulary. As you get to interact with me, you start to learn I love to play with words. And this one has 2 meanings with it. There's lover and age. Lover in the sense of being a lover, sharing love, having love, and doing it over time. There is a flip story to this, which is about love and rage. And often what we see is that when you're out of love, you tend to go into the world of rage, which is an unfortunate way in which to leave your legacy story. And it's because sometimes we are human and being fully human, we sometimes slip into elements of rage. It isn't that defines us, it's just, it happens. And from a legacy point of view, I'm encouraging us to continue to look at the love aspect of it rather than the rage aspect of it, to see the lover over time, over the age, unfolding for you. So this is a perspective on a legacy. And one of the programs that I have is called Legacy Decoded. And it's a series of 5 books that I'm writing. And if you'd like to learn more about them, you can certainly provide a content or the link to book a time to chat with me is below and we can explore it. But to be able to help you understand that, the 5 books are called Elder, Mentor, Celebrant, Weaver, and Magnificent. And these are written certainly from my experience of legacy and what it is that I would like to share with the world and being for the world that might be of help to you. And what it does is it brings to life legacy and the five branches. And each time there's an element with the book. So with elder, it's about inspired practitioner. Mentor, it's about natural educator. And they're going to be coming out shortly, and you may want to look for them. And by the time you watch this video, the others might be available as well, the Celebrant, Weaver, and Magnificent. So with that, that is a great sharing for today, a perspective on legacy, about the useful what's that you gift others so that they can learn something from your lived experience. Exploring the five branches of legacy: life, leadership, legal, literacy, and Loverage. Please, again, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you get notifications of additional Perspective Thursday videos. And I also, on Sundays, are creating what's called Trees Every Day series, and you may want to take a look at them. They're available on this channel as well. Just check out the playlist. So with that, I thank you very much. I encourage you to live from your legacy. And my hope is today is that you've gotten some insights that will help you get there. And if I can be of more assistance in the show more notes underneath the video or wherever you see this video, there are ways to contact me. So with that, take care.